you talk about Dhanam. So when any act of Dhanam, it is going to resulting in a punya. Whatever punya, like it should come. So in order to discard this punya, you have to again take birth. So this is a cycle which is endless. So how do we overcome such like act?
Right. So that's going to come in the next shloka. Next shloka, even giving dhanam with the expectation of punyam is not sattvic. It's going to be rajas.
No, I'm not expecting. I'm just giving. Even with sankalpa, I don't want, but I still give it. But yet there is a punya, act of punya happen the moment you give dhanam.
That's okay. Punya can come, but you are not desiring that. You did not do it for punya. Your what is there here is what matters. Is what decides what is the dhan. Punya can come. Punya will come. You can't stop punya from coming.
That
Let
will
it come.
result in janma again. Another janma.
No. For you, it will result in a guru in this life, so that you can study Advaita Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita. See what I'm saying? Punyam will produce very comfortable situations, favorable. But even for this Advaita Vidya, Punyam is needed. Correct?
Chitta Shuddhi only it creates.
See, all of us have Punya which will take us for Janmas and Janmas. Already we have Punya. There is nothing that you can stop. You can't neutralize all that. Punya is there, Papam is also there. For any number of Janmas, it is already there. But now, because the action is done without an expectation, even of punya, any punya that comes will be really beneficial. It will make me, antakarana shuddhi will happen. And then immediately you start seeing things. Then the desire to go to heaven and all will go away. That is punya. That is a punya phalam only it is. It can't just go away like that. Is that answer helpful, Satish ji?
Yeah. Good.
Punyam can come, nothing wrong. No, you can't stop punyam from coming. Yes, correct. But you don't have an expectation for punyam. If it doesn't come, it's okay. It comes, it's okay. I'm not doing this for that. Not that I see there is a need there. I'm going to do it. That's it.
Nishkamadaya kritam.
Okay. Nishkamadaya kritam. Yeah, Vaidya ji, go ahead.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes.
My earphones are not working, so I'm directly talking into the computer. Thank you. Yes, so yeah, so you recited part of that, you know, the Setuntara Samam. So incidentally, during
Swamiji's
this
favorite. Swamiji's favorite.
Pujamiji's favorite. Pujamiji has mentioned this in satsangs before. And also in the Kumbhabhishekam at Arshavidya Gurukulam recently, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I had gone for it. I think I posted some pictures in our WhatsApp group. So at that Kumbhabhishekam, one of the days when they had the japa, they had this japa. Because they had pandits, you know, they had 16 Vedic pandits. There were Rigvedis, Samvedis, and Yajurvedis. The Atharvana Vedis were not there, but you know, there were a few Atharvana Vedam mantras were also chanted because some of them had studied a little bit of Atharvana Veda also. But the Samvedi Pandits were there, they chanted this. It was wonderful to hear that.
Yeah, so yeah, if you can find that section of if it was recorded, and if you can point us to that, it will be good. I want to. I feel like
actually, I think the entire thing might be in YouTube. If somebody were to search Harshavidya Gurukulam Kumbhabhishekam, they'll find it. I don't remember now exactly which day it was. There were 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, it's not simply searching it, but you have to look into it and tell us.
I know.
2 minutes 46.
I know.
2 hours 46 minutes because these are all.
Okay, let me take it up as a homework. I can do that, Jayakumarji.
Whether it was
Yeah, it
uploaded
was
in
really
the
beautiful to hear that. And then second thing is Samvedam is also where two of the Upanishads that Shankara has written Vashyams come from, right? Chandogya Upanishad and Kena Upanishad. Both come from Samvedam. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the third comment I wanted to make was you had mentioned Kumbakonam, right? So that's where the Kumbakonam is in the Kaveri Delta, like you mentioned, the Mahamangam, Mahamagam. Yeah, that the Mahamangam it's called in Tamil. That's like a Kumbh Mela. And I remember many years ago when I was still a small, young boy, my grandmother had visited Kumbakonam. From Mumbai, she went to Kumbakonam to participate in that Mahamangam.
Very good. Very nice.
Yeah,
Very good.
thank you.
Yeah, so I was born in Kumbakonam, and my parents, of course, the Mahamagam, they were there. My brother was born on the day of Mahamagam. So it's very big, very big.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Srividya, go ahead.
Guruji, I have a doubt in shloka number 19. So it says somebody out of mistaken notion or idea you have told that. So what is Arjuna's position and also other Pandavas' position here? Because they are also there to kill somebody else. They have a shapatham taken right before the war. So what is their position? They are also tamasic in nature. Yeah.
So their position with regard to what?
War, the Kurukshetra war, because they have come there for Bhima is there to kill Duryodhana, and he has made a, shapath. So, what is their position here?
Yeah, so all the acts done by the Kauravas, except maybe that one woman, one sister they had, um, are all meant to finish off the Pandavas. Jealousy is what seems to be governing their lives throughout. And so no act they did is sattvika. No act they did is sattvika. And tapas. Now, they must have done tapas, but I mean, somehow, as the story that I heard, I've not heard my grandmother telling me that these people are known for tapas, Kauravas. Okay, let's assume they've done whatever tapas. They also went to school and all. They were taught all the mantras, everything is there. So they must have done a lot of tapas. So that kind of tapas is tamasika tapas. Okay, Kauravas tapas. Tamasika for sure. Because used for negative results, negative purposes, destruction of humanity, destruction of dharma. Whereas Arjuna's fight is for the upholding of dharma. Okay. So there, dharma yuddham. That's why it's called dharma yuddham. From the perspective of this Arjuna, it's dharma yuddham. So Duryodhana can't call it anything. For him it is only Arjuna yuddham, Pandava yuddham. My focus is on Pandavas. Janami dharmam nachame pravritti. I know what dharma is, but I can't follow dharma. Janami adharmam nachame nivritti. I know what is adharma. You don't have to teach me, but I can't refrain myself from doing adharma. So that's the view, Srividya. Yeah, Vijay, go ahead.
Hari Om, Guruji. Guruji, I was thinking about that project that you mentioned, right? There is nothing wrong in if you are giving not as a loan, you don't charge any interest, but if you are helping someone to set up something and he or she feels responsible to return it back, the amount, is there anything wrong? Because those people whom you wanted to support now, they have to find out someone else, right? It was a project that could have still been taken up, no? Is there something wrong?
It depends on who the recipient is.
Yeah, in this case, those poor vendors or whoever you were trying to help.
Somebody who has nothing at home except some, okay, I can make some dosa and idlis, okay, except that skill. You just give it sometimes. It depends on who and what, right? Somebody who's been working, etc., made some money, now doesn't have money, wants to start a business, etc., you get a loan and you make them pay the loan back. Because they are capable of paying the loan back. These people are so poor that you don't talk about anything. You don't talk about returning it. You won't feel like it. In fact, if you talk to them, you yourself will get the idea that how can I ask them to return the money? Because they don't have anything. Zero. They're starting from zero. And they need something. Food itself they need. They won't be saving money at all. For months, they won't save money. Only if you save money, you can return. Where is the question of return? So like that if you look at it like that, and if you look at Swamiji and such people who are not used to taking money, Swamiji and all, when they are involved, they say, you go and do it. Don't ask me for it. That's what he will say. You go find somebody else to do this project. I am not doing this project. It may be right also. Yeah, go ahead. But we don't have the time to monitor and we are doing so much that I can't go after all these people and then after every year collect all the data. They want all this data. Seva International. Seva International is a very good organization, by the way. Just to make sure, right? If you want to give your money, give it to Seva. Or Seva Bharati here. That's good. But I'm saying it's a nice idea, but not everybody will accept that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and if they want, they can pay it back as donation back to Seva International for doing further projects, right?
Correct. I can give it back. Optionally, you can say, hey, if you become wealthy because of this is the organization, you just pay them back.
Correct. Yeah.
That can be done. That can be done. But you have to be very careful. Very careful. When you make the statement. When you make the statement, always. And because making a poor person should never be made to feel that he is being helped. That I am helping you and you are therefore. You have to keep that in mind that I helped you. Okay, that feeling is not at all good, not correct. Krishna might talk about that also. He is going to say that. I think next sloka is going to come. So you have to be extremely careful. Extremely careful. Okay, once the person made the money and all comes to you and all in a motorcycle, this, that, etc. Not bad. You've done well. If he says, I feel like I'm already educating some children, etc. Excellent, do that. And I'll give you the address of the organization that helped you also. You can talk to them. Like that also you can see. So it's time Kale. That Kale is important. Kale. Jite Kale. Anyway, those nuances are there. We all understand that. Yeah. Yeah, Mahesh ji, go ahead.
I have one comment and one question. And commenting on what Vijay ji said, I mean, isn't it like somebody got benefit from the community and you are giving back to the community? That is very, I mean, at least prevalent in the US, what they call it, giving back to community, right? I mean, it's not like he or she is not eating and then paying the loan back. It's much different than, say, paying a student loan back or a bank loan or something. This is, I mean, just like in our own Arsha Gurukulam students, I know Sunita ji says some students are giving donations, right? So we can't refuse that. See, the Harsha Gokulam helped them to study and graduate, and they're giving back to the community. So that, I mean, so I kind of agree with what Vijay said, that it is a giving back to the community.
So yeah,
And willingly. I'm not saying it's on a timetable. Every first of the month you have to give, not like that. When they have basic needs taken care of, they feel, say, obligated, or they feel they should do something.
there is no connection between a person receiving dhanam and a person giving dhanam. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That is what Satvika Dhanam is. A person receiving dhanam and that recipient giving dhanam. There is no connection at all. If you connect it, it becomes rajas. Okay, I'm clear. Let me repeat it once again. I give some rupees, 1,000 rupees to somebody, or 500 rupees to somebody because you need it. Somebody called the other day, sir, medical expenses, I have to go for a scan and this and that. And so, money was given. That's it, forgotten. Now, if the person wants to give back the money someday, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I may say, that's okay, I don't need it. It's forgotten. But there's no connection between what he or she wants to do at a future time and what I've done or what we have done. That's it. There's no connection. The connection is not there. I also give to the community. He may also be in a position to give to the community. Let them do that. There's no connection between this dhanam and that dhanam. That I hope is clear.
No, what I mean is, like, for example, he can, say, potentially give it to another charity or another
Let them
organization.
do. His life is different.
No.
He's not even there in the
What I'm
radar.
trying to say is, say, like a charity or an organization which supports the community or give financial support to the community. This is one way of, rolling the money, right? Like, we give it to somebody who needs it, and once they are benefited from that, they give it back to the organization, which that organization in turn can give it to somebody else. But the conduit is through the organization, because that person may or may not know anybody else.
All that theory can be kept aside. This Krishna is saying, Datavyam iti yad dhanam diyate anupakarine. Anupakarine means not expecting anything from this person. That's it. Over. Account is closed. You create all these systems and avenues and instruments to do this. All that is fine. But the account is closed the minute dhanam is given. That's it. That's it.
So,
Over.
From the same token, giving a donation, expecting a tax reduction is not the right thing. So
you think through it. You think through it. I'm saying.
Yeah, that is true.
That's a government's incentive is giving an incentive. That's fair. I will give dhanam only if there is tax incentive. If I say, then okay. Then this is not Satvika Dhanam. Because the government changes anytime. Rules will change anytime. Any government can remove tax incentives anytime. Then what is my idea of life? Where do I put dhanam in my life? Will I say, okay, previously I gave so many rupees, I got 20% back. And so now, because the 20% benefit is not there, I will give only 80% of what I gave before. Okay. Whatever calculation you do, but 80% dhanam is there.
Yeah. And my question is, Jagmaji, this, we talked quite several times about this anger or krodha, right? And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about it. We also learned in Tattva Bodha about krodha and all that. So my question is, and to get the mumukshutvam or as a prerequisite, we also control our anger, or all those things should be done. For a person to be called a jnani or called a sannyasi or called a a respected person for. So my question is, then we come across in our Puranas, there are rishis and maharshis who have anger on the tip of their nose. For example, Durvasa. So how do we call them? I mean, how can we call them a maharshi? And there are people with, just like Krodha, then there are people with ego. For example, Vishwamitra and Vasishta. They never got along well because of their own egos. So we have examples of who are called Maharshis, yet they had these blemishes, so to speak. So, I mean, how do you reconcile that?
No, it's very easy to reconcile. It means that Karma Yoga is very important. And Karma Yoga is so important to neutralize all the issues. Anger at the tip of the nose means there are some childhood issues that are there that have to be resolved. It is not, psychology is not only for you and me. It is all for Maharshis also psychology. Same psychology applies. And they have to figure it out. But for us, they are Maharshis. Nothing, no problem with that. Because they have some, they can bless us. They can bless us. They have jnanam. But that jnanam need not be blessing them because of all the anger. An angry person is not a totally happy person at that moment. Okay. So look at this. There's a beauty. Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means what? A person gains this vision in this life, right here and now, and that person is a Jivan Mukti. Now, moksha. Okay, that guy got moksha. Okay. But then the rest of the life has to be led. And there are unresolved issues, if there are there, the rest of the life is going to be up and down. Even with all that moksha. Okay, with all this anger, this, that will come and go, and then all this. So that's why it's possible. Jivan Mukti is possible. And it's not a guarantee of a fulfilled life. But the person is fulfilled. The person still has anger and all that. Person is not an unfulfilled person because Jivan Mukta. But anger comes. And all that anger is it's not totally unwarranted also. It's a sign that whatever they utter is going to come true. And so we have to look at it from our perspective. We are not going to judge that person. So therefore he's a Maharshi, and whatever he says is true. It's going to come true. And it just happens to be in an angry tone. Sabam. Oh, you become Basma right now. Okay, that happened. Well, anyway, it's going to happen. Whether Durvasa said it or not, would have happened because of my attitude, So that's okay. We don't have any problem reconciling because we don't judge that.
No, but my question is how.
But it does say that in my life also it is possible. I'm studying Shastram and all. I can't go around telling people I'm studying Shastram, this and that, and without solving my own emotional problems. I need to pay attention to all that. Karma Yoga is so important. Dhanam and all is so important. And it's meant for me. Panchamahayajna is so important. And it has to be done in order to neutralize all this pent-up stuff. It only is an example of that. You're correct. How do you reconcile? Well, don't worry about reconciling that. It's going to happen for me. It's going to happen to me also. Any of us. That's what it tells me. Durvasa is a jnani, gini, and all. We don't have to worry. This is a Maharshi. Shastram says it, so over. Maharshi Vyasa said it in the Puranas, over. That's it. We don't need to go. But the idea is that's a data point for me. The data point for me.
My point was like, if he's this anger or ego or all that, I mean, is that with those things, a person can still be called Maharshi or Rishi? That's my question.
Yeah, Shastram calls like that. Maharshi, because the person is a Janati, Rishati Janati iti Rishi. The person knows what is to be known. But emotions don't necessarily change with knowledge. With knowledge, that is a problem. Emotions are powerful. One psychologist says emotion is energy in motion. Energy in motion, it takes a while for that energy to stop, And so that's a science, and that nobody can stop. Even Durvasa Muni cannot stop it. He also has to work on it. But Jnanam, but fortunately, Jnanam is such that when you see it, you see it. And so, yeah, that combination is possible, Maheshji. Shastram says that combination is possible. Yeah, we expect like a perfect human being, totally perfect. Well, you allow for the variations. Allow for variations. Everybody has a background. And so some sannyasis you'll find there, even in our own life here, or going to Puranas, very angry sometimes. Very angry. Some swamis you feel like they just attract you. They just attract. Not possible. So everybody has to work on. Swamiji will say that. Everybody has to work. Even sannyasis, I've given a lot sannyasa to a lot of people, like that he says. And I tell them, you have to work on it. Mantras are there, Gayatri mantra is there, Om mantra is there, and japa has to be done, Nishtha has to be gained. So sannyasa ashrama for them becomes a period of resolving all these vasanas that are. Asanas will be there. So it's not there's no shortcut, Mahesh. That's why your question is good. It highlights the fact that there is no shortcut. Knowledge is not a shortcut. I'm smart and therefore I'll figure it out. Knowledge is separate and emotions have to be separately handled. It's a good point, Mahesh. Yeah. So we look at it as another data point in our pursuit. But what Durvasa says is not, when they say it is a statement of fact. See, the problem is this, Mahesh. When you think of Durvasa, what do you think? How did you learn about Durvasa's anger? How did you and I learn about Durvasa's anger?
Only because of Shaba.
How did you come to know about all these things?
Through whatever Puranas, whatever we learn.
Through Puranas, okay. Purana says Durvasa gave a shapa. Most likely, he wouldn't have said he got angry and this and that. No, it is anger and all that moving. Amachitrakatha and moving.
I don't know. What I'm saying is the pravachanas we hear. I'm not reading something.
It's all dramatized. So we think he's some kind of Durvasa is a ball of fury or something like that. So we don't know. We have to go to the source, Mahesh. I have my doubts. With this game, this comics and all these artists, what all they did, we don't know. We take that as satyam,
No, I'm saying about like the people who, my younger days, that's how we learned, right? People used to come and do Katha Kalashepam for 45 days or something, and they say all this. Yes,
only then it's attractive.
They make it interesting to the people, agreed. But I don't know, they will go off the fact to make it, that I don't know. So
yeah, so some embellishments will be there here and there.
But it is a one common thread is that no matter which Katha Kalashepam go, everybody portrays Durvasa as an angry person. Nobody said, not that few people said that.
And so Durvasa also needs Jnana Nishtha. If all you want to go that far.
Yeah, I'm saying is that if you have all this, will they be qualified to be called Maharshi? That's what my question.
Yeah, it's for our benefit. So they are saying good things, we listen to them and we take their messages. We give up whatever is not needed for us. We just deliver.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Raghavan. Somebody called Raghavan has joined us. periodically who sends messages on WhatsApp also, commenting on this and that. Okay, go ahead, Raghavan. How are you? Audio లేదు, వినపడలేదు, కేకల. हम नहीं सुन रहे, सुन
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just removed the earphones, but I can't hear you actually.
I don't know. IT people only have to. So you are IT and you yourself are telling like this. Means what am I supposed to do? Please tell me. Should I study Vedanta or should I go to some manual here? Tell me, Raghavan. Okay, do one thing. You ask the question, then put the earphones, and then you should be able to hear. No, let's do something like that.
So actually, my question was regarding the like within friend circle or relation circle. So a lot of time it happens like they are in need of some financial or some help. So but they ask it for as a loan, like they want to return it back at a later point of time. So that is that okay, or like what does the Shastram say about this kind of thing, where we are not expecting any interest amount or all, just like they want to return at a later point of time. Is it considered good practice? That is my first question. Second question is regarding the dhanam that we give when we, like say, sometimes when we go and travel somewhere and people ask for money and we give it to them. But what I have noticed is that is they are telling sometimes lies and they are collecting it. Because I had a personal experience where I was going to office. So one like old lady, she asked me for money to go to like her native. She was asking me money, but I found her the same woman at a like after 1 or 2 weeks back. She was also asking the same thing, but she didn't remember me. But I know I recollected her. So this dhanam, right? Is it like we are getting because of that lie we are getting fooled, right? Like how to take this scenario like that. So these two questions there.
Good questions. We have only covered Satvika Dana. We should give Krishna an opportunity to tell us what is Rajasika Dana and what is Tamasika Dana. Are you able to hear now, Raghavan?
Yes, I can hear now.
So I was saying, we have not completed. We have only talked about Satvika Dana. There are other two types of Dana, right? Rajasika and Tamasika. So if you come to the next class, then your questions will be answered, I think. And if you still not answered, we can definitely talk. I don't want to say the things that Krishna is going to say shortly. But those are good questions to have. So the examples you gave will bring it back in the class, and then we'll talk. Because next mantra is there. No? So, then you look at this. Yattu pratyupakaratham phalam uddishya va, then tamasam adesha kalecha yad danam patrebhyascha diyate asatkritam prajnatam tad tamasam uda. So, patram and all is there. So, we'll talk about that. Patram. So, in some sense, you have to know if you are being exploited or not. If you sense exploitation, this is risky business because you're trying to judge somebody, right? And making an assessment. Somebody who's already poor right in front of your eyes. So it's risky business. So, but you have to get smart at this. Any other questions?
Guruji.
Yeah.
I just wanted a clarification on this. See, this all the questions which came up today regarding the Danam and Yajnam and Tapa, what he is going to talk in future, it connects to this shloka very much, no? The third chapter, Yajñartat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartam karma kaunteya. He has said Mukta Sangha Samachara. All this should lead to Mukta Sangha, right? So this all talk, whatever we are trying to conclude in psychological realm will not find conclusions.
No, it won't.
It won't find conclusion. So we cannot draw a line like this is correct, this is not, because somewhere we will try, there will be some, we can't find out like whether a person is genuinely asking or not. It's not possible at some point of time. So I think it again comes down to individual, attitude with what we give, because final thing is Mukta Sangha and you can't cheat. We can't play like logical things cannot work when it comes to Mukta Sangha. Right? So I was trying to connect it with this and I was saying like how much ever we talk over it, psychological realm, it could be Sattvika, it could be Rajasika. So what Maheshji was asking also, I was trying to understand like anger probably which is portrayed in the, if he is a Maharshi who is a realized person, he is already crossed that psychological realm. So he could be used as Yajna. His anger also could be used as Yajna in order to, for Mukta Sangha, he is already a Mukta Purusha. So it could be used because he's already a tool in the hands of, Ishvara. So when he knows very well, he is a tool, not a belief. Belief is in psychological realm. So if he knows very clearly, if he knows what he is, probably anger for us, because we are always working in psychological realm, it could be taken as a wrong thing. Because we have so many people now, we are debating over people who use non-violence to get freedom and all, we are debating over it, whether it was used in the right way. So you could be deluded by thinking non-violence as a belief also. You could be concluding that non-violence is a belief also, right? So I was just trying to understand like Mukta Sangha has so much to say.
Right. So the goal, our goal is it's a lofty goal, So you're basically free if Shastram says. We have to prepare ourselves. Antakarana Shuddhi becomes so important. Antakarana Shuddhi becomes so important. These are all means for that. Values and all that are means for that. And so then our attitude, our intention becomes very important. In these examples that he's giving, intention is highlighted. Tapaha. What for? Why are you doing this? Why are you giving this? Why are you giving so much money to this organization? If somebody asks, what will you say? It's a lot of money. Then, they're doing good work. I have this money to give, so I'm going to give. That's it. Oh. And he's going to talk about Rajasam, etc. Yeah, still it's transactional. Transaction. Attitude. It's a way to build our attitudes. Transactional buddhi, Transactional buddhi. Buddhi is always transaction. Krishna is telling us to get out of that. And so, transactional buddhi cannot appreciate Advaita Vedanta. Tyaga buddhi only can appreciate Krishna's vision. Correct? Tyaga buddhi must. So, all these nuances are there, which is useful for us to, as we're leading our lives, it's useful to keep in mind.
So this I thought was a formula one. As long as we are in this karma bandhana, there's no Mukta Sangha.
Correct. Karma bandhana means transaction.
Yeah.
Karma is central. Koyam karma bandha, tadartham karma kaunteya, mukta sangha samachara. Tadartham karma kaunteya, he says. He says tadartham, he doesn't say tadartham, shastram pata, he doesn't say tadartham, you know what, no, karma, there he says karma kaunteya. Because you need to, for antakarana shuddhi, you have to do. You have to.
So says Yajñartha.
Yajnarthat datavyamiti yaddanam. Yajnartham yaddanam kriyate. Will be done because that's how the nature is. And there is no questions asked. And it takes a while to get this actually. Initially, you see, nobody taught me on this. Dhanam, the idea of dhanam. As we grow up, we know more and more facets of dhanam. We look at, then we realize, oh my God, I'm looking at everything as a transaction. You do this for me, then I'll give you this salary. Then this thing. No, I gave you this bonus. This thing. So it's all fully, everything is calculated. Then you say, what about just doing because you love to do it? Yeah, a lot more than the salary you gave. So what? They are also human beings. They also you wanted a bonus when you were working somewhere. Give that bonus to make a day, make that person's day. So it takes a while to get that idea that this is as long as I'm stuck in transaction, I have to come out of that mindset.
Regarding Miraji's question, Mukta Sangha, it should be a transaction.
Transaction.
Transcending action. Ramuji has transcended everything. He's saying transcending action is called
Not that, just to play of words.
good. So that's good. That's
So
we will
fundamentally, I was thinking it could be that because human mind is thinking of concluding everything very fast, right? We want conclusions for everything. Like whatever we do, we want that I got something out of it or something, some conclusion.
more than conclusion, the word to use is phalam.
Phalam.
Phalam. So mandopi na pravartate phalam anuddishya. Phalam is there. Something I want. Matlabi. Every person is a matlabi person. So, which is okay.
Why I said conclusion was Guruji, because even speaking truth will give me punyam. As of now, I don't see, but I see it in future. So that is something which I believe in, and when I start doing it, it is bound to get disturbed. So it becomes like I am going as per somebody's conclusion, right? So as long as I am not convinced about it. So I could be doing truth only in terms of not hurt, non-violence only in terms of not hurting physically, but mentally I may not be even aware of it.
Correct.
So when I have these conclusions about truth is only this, violence is only this, then it becomes difficult.
Right. Plus, nothing is absolute also.
Yeah.
Nothing is absolute. What appears as violence to somebody may not be construed as violence. All these are there.
So on that note, it's very difficult to conclude on Maharshis or say something.
Yeah. No, not going to judge.
Because they don't work on conclusions or beliefs. Because Mukta Sangis don't work on that. That's what.
That's why he said, judge not others.
But here Krishna does say, Patrecha is what he said. So you have to know a little bit about who you're giving the money to or dana. Little bit you must. For which we have to be, the Viveka Buddhi has to be. Like that.
Yeah, so that they don't use it for wrong purpose. That is understood, no? Yajna.
Correct.
To some extent. Yeah.
Correct. Wrong purposes. Good. Anything else?
Dhanyawad.
That's like saying, don't give a cow to a butcher.
Okay. All right. That sounds like a good one. Anything else? Vaidya, go ahead.
Jaykumarji, this is off the record. I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the outcome of the elections, and how do we
Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amritakalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanathaye Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.